Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the free Friday coaching call. And as you know, we have these on the first and third Fridays of every month. I cannot believe it's the first Friday of November already. It was just shocking. I got home yesterday and I was like, oh, it's Halloween. When did that happen? I don't have any candy. So I went running out as quickly as possible. And just for some context of how this call came to be, over the many, many years that Rick Chiha was in real estate, which was 43 and doing business everywhere across the world, he would give people his number and tell them to call him if they had any questions or anything that they wanted to chat about. And over time, that no longer became sustainable. Lindsay, you are cracking me up in the background right now. Like, sorry, I got very distracted. And as that happened, and it got bigger and bigger, this call came about, and we called it Rick's Free Friday Coaching Call because he would come on and he would talk about all things real estate and bring people on from all over the industry, all over the world to help people on coaching on anything real estate related. And so that is how we are still here today, honoring the legacy that he set in place for us. So today I want to welcome Amanda Simpson to the call. I'm very excited about what she's going to be talking about today. Amanda is a dedicated mom, fellow grandmother, which I found out and did not know. So that's super exciting. And she's been a very passionate realtor over the last 6 years, building her business, deeply rooted in faith and helping homeowners one homeowner at a time. And what she is very energized by is the ability to utilize and work your sphere of influence in the community that you have in your life to help build that real estate business. So welcome, Amanda. Super excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm very, very grateful to be here. Um, just to say that, like you've stated, I am very passionately about my faith, and that's how I incorporate it into my business and my sphere and the relationships that I build. So, to get started, how is everybody after EXPCon? Like,
Yeah, there's a couple of us
amazing.
here that were there. I know Lindsay's like,
Yes, yes. That was an amazing opportunity to also build relationships, right? So that's what I speak about a lot. I am very personable and relatable. So when you are able to be your authentic self, then you can relate to others and build that trust, which in turn builds that relationship, which in turns into business. So when I first meet people, I'm very, very real. I am not I don't bring anything that's not of value, and I'm very, very authentic. So when I talk to people, they're like, gosh, I felt like I've known you for like ever. I'm like, yeah, that's just how I am. Like I just build the relationships because I love people and I love assisting and I love serving. So to incorporate that, with my business, I do a lot of pop buys. I keep there's a saying like if you take care of your people, they'll take care of you. So I do a lot of pop buys. Just when I got back from California last week, we did Halloween handouts. So just little bags, had a cup in there, had some pumpkin spice mix, some straws, some candy, some goodies, of course, my business card. And I went to about 30 homes and I did it personally because that's just who I am. I'm a little old school. And I just knock and I hand it to them. I'm like, hey, how's it going? How's the house? Do you need anything? Two of my clients that I actually touched base with last week, they were like, yeah, like we want to build a deck, but we just don't know how to like go about it. Can we refi? Can we get some cash out? Like I was like, oh, so here in Iowa, we have what's called the Neighborhood Finance Corporation. So it's NFC. And if you are in the NFC area when you purchase your home, after living there a year, you can apply for a grant to help you with some things around the house, build a garage, build a deck, whatever you need. I think the grant is up to $10,000 right now. So I was like, oh, you know what? It's been a year. Here, I'm going to send you the link for NFC. Go apply for that grant. So two of my clients, I was able to add value just by knocking on their door, and now they're getting applying for these grants and getting to work into their home. So when you add value and you build that relationship and you're genuine, they send people to you, right? So
so Amanda, one second. I just want to stop you because I want to make sure everybody on the call understands. Notice that she said she knocked on the door. This is not, I'm going to drop a pop by and run.
Mm-mm.
You know,
No.
I'm gonna knock and I'm gonna actually make sure that they're there if possible and have a real conversation. I love that. Talk more about that,
Yes.
why you do that, Amanda.
Oh my gosh. My face. They remember me, but they're like, "Oh my gosh, like you're really over here, like knocking on my door, not just running, just like you want to actually have a conversation with us after you just sold us a house?" Yeah, of course. Like, what can I do to help you? Is everything okay? Like, do you need anything? Like the two clients that they needed some assistance with some stuff around the house. Why, if I would have just knocked, laid it there, and ran, I would have not known they needed help. I would have not added the value, and they wouldn't know what to do. So that's it's huge. Like I said, I'm very old school. I still do door knock sometimes. I hand out CMAs personally as well. So I'm being in front of people is huge, right? Because I could call, I could text, but they're not seeing me. They're not getting my vibe. They're not seeing how genuinely I want to add value to their life. So when you're in person with someone, it's very important that they feel your energy and your vibe and how you are genuinely there to help them. So being in person is huge.
I
Um,
love that.
yeah, so I have two families. Like I'm telling you, building relationships it'll just skyrocket your business. I have two families that are extremely dedicated to me because I take care of them and I take care of their friends, their family. They will send no matter like they're like my referral business. Everything in my business is referral and repeat business. And I'll get a call randomly. Hey, so and so told me that you were a realtor. They referred me to you. Can you help me with buying a home? Absolutely. And I'll call my client and like, hey, like, thank you so much for referring so and so to me. I appreciate you like extremely. Oh, of course, girl. Like, you take care of us. Like, we'll always send someone to you. Like, we know that you're going to take care of them the way you took care of us. So taking care of people is extremely important in business and in life. And I don't do it just to get things out of it, right? Like I'm genuinely a good person and a nice person, and I take care of people, and they feel that. So I don't even have to ask for referrals.
I love that. It's interesting to see how many people are nervous about talking to their own sphere. How
Mhm.
do you get past that, or did you just jump right in?
Gosh, I just jump right in. Someone asked me at EXPCon because I said, I will just add people onto my social media when I meet them, because I want them to see me as a person, right? Because my social media is not all about business. It's me as a person. It's me as a grandma. It's me as a mom. It's me as a normal person struggling with things daily. So I am very, very just upfront. I'm like, we connect, we hit it off. And I'm like, hey, you want to add me on socials? Like, I would love to see your progress. Or if you're not um, doing things now, like let me see what you're doing in the meantime to get you to where you need to be. So I'm very upfront. Um, I know a lot of people have like nervousness. They don't know how to like speak to people, and that's okay because I didn't either at the beginning. Like I'm just like, oh my gosh, like they're gonna reject me, right? Because that's all of our fear is rejection. And I've just learned to, if you put it out there, they're going to tell you yes or no if they want to continue the conversation. People are very honest. They're either going to be like, yeah, cool, like keep texting me, like keep asking me about things, or they're going to be like, hey, like I don't want any part of this. I don't want to buy a house. I don't want to do this, whatever your industry is. And they'll tell you. And then at that time you're like, okay, cool. I still, want to add value if I can in any way possible. So just keep me updated, or I'm here if you ever need me.
I
So
think
it's not like a forceful thing. Like if it's for you, it will be for you. If it's not, it won't be.
I think what's important about what you said, even with the pop buys, it's not that you showed up at their door and said, "Do you want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate?" Right? I want everybody to
Oh,
be clear because I find that over the years that I've been in real estate and talked to so many agents that that is their biggest thing is like, "Well, I don't want to be salesy to my sphere." Nothing
okay.
about what you said or did was salesy. You dropped
Mm-mm.
off a little gift and just said, "Hey, just checking in to see if you need anything." And then you were able to give it. But you were able to give back value that wasn't about selling a house, but was
Mhm.
about helping them in what they were doing with their home moving forward, which just
Yeah.
gave value, which means that they're always going to think of you when it comes to real estate and refer you business because that's not what you show up and do. So I
Yeah.
think that's pretty amazing. Like it's not, tell me other ways that you feel like you're able to give value to your sphere outside of the pot buys.
Oh gosh. Taxes. When taxes come around. Hey, like, do you have your 1099 from your interest from your mortgage company? If not, if you've bought it within the last year, I will send them a copy of their CD or their Alta. And hey, you're going to need this when you go file your taxes. Like that is something that I genuinely just make sure that everyone knows about. Also, I don't know if it's in other states, but we have what's called the homestead credit here. So after July 1st, if you've bought a home from after July 1st until like about May or June, about the end of May, I start sending out emails or texts or posting it on social media. Hey, if you bought a house in the last year, remember to go file for your homestead credit because that saves you a couple $100 a year on your taxes. Just little things like that to just remind people of who've never bought a home before, right? Because a lot my niche is first time home buyers, so they need a lot of education. So education is key, and giving them those tools to know what to do with their new home is like crucial. So that's what I do. A lot
I
of
love
those.
that. I love that. Now, you did say at the beginning of the call that almost all of your business is
Yeah.
referral or past client or sphere based. How many people do you feel like is a great number to have in that database?
Ooh. Well, depends.
Mhm.
Because a lot you can have a lot of people in your database, right? But are they all going to refer you? So I think building relationships with a few people and then taking care of those few people. I'm not saying don't go and look for business. I'm not saying that. But when you have those few people and you take care of those specifically, they just it just comes back to you. So however many you feel that you need to take care of to get that back, then do that.
I love that because it can start small. And that's kind
It
of what I
can.
wanted to get to is that for agents who feel like they don't have a big sphere of influence,
It's
a
okay.
big group, it does not have to be a large number. Exactly what Amanda said, which was like you can start with a couple. If you've only sold a few homes, guess what? That's your sphere.
That's right.
Right? And just dig in and really keep in contact with them. So it doesn't have to be a massive number, right, Amanda?
No, it does not. And also, what I was going to say is that so all my sphere, right? So I've been in the business 7 years. Everyone that I've ever sold a home to or listed with, anyone that I've ever done a transaction with, I always follow up with them about 3 years after we have that initial contact because I know that equity builds, right? So then you reach out to them and you say, "Hey, I'm just going to throw over this CMA for you. I don't know what's like what's going on in your life right now. I wanted to touch up. Here's a CMA. It just gives you an idea of what equity you have in your home right now, and whatever you need to do with that information. That's awesome. But I just wanted to give you that value so you know where you're standing at on your home. So touching my past clients is huge as well. Because you can't just sell a house and forget about them. They're they're gonna end up selling again eventually. In Des Moines, it's sometimes it's 3 years, sometimes it's seven, but they're gonna come back and you want them to come back to you. So always keep in touch with your sphere, no matter if it's three people that you've sold to or 10. It's important to keep up with them.
I love that. And what an easy way to do it with a CMA, showing them what kind of value that they have in their home at that point. And like you said, there's no telling what they might want to do with it. They might need to refi, they might want to take some money out to put in a pool. It could be any number of things, or it may be time for them to consider upgrading to a larger home because they've started building their family,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. What other things do you feel like you do to kind of keep that sphere growing and keep in contact with them regularly?
I do a lot of social media outreach. If I see someone's birthday, as I'm like seeing, oh, hey, it's so and so's birthday, I will text them and make it personable and not just post on social media, oh, happy birthday. I'll text them, hey, happy birthday or happy anniversary, whatever the case may be. Um, I'm just really close with my sphere. I make sure that I continue to add value to them, right? Because I want to tell you this. Sorry, I kind of got off, but it just
Oh,
popped
you're
into my
fine.
head. So I need to tell you this. So when you are able to know your sphere and reach out to them, it can change your life. I am a mentor with EXP. My first mentee, she came to me from Keller Williams. She was with Keller Williams for 2 years, never did a deal. She came to me. We sat down in the Panera. I'll never forget this. I said, "Okay, April, what do you do right now? Like what are you doing with business?" And she said, "I'm a hairstylist." And I said, "You're a hairstylist?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "How long have you been doing hair?" And she said, About 11 years." I was like, "So how much book of business do you have?" She's like, "Oh, about 700." I said, "Girl, and you've not done a deal in 2 years?" I said, "Here." And I typed out a script real quick for her to, of course, it will go, she'll make it personable for each one that she knows, but just a general script. I said, "Send this to your people and get your business going." And within 45 days, she had her 3 transactions and she is killing it right now.
That's
All because she did not even realize that she had a whole book of business that she could incorporate into real estate from her stylist. Like, I was like, oh, that was
I
just like,
love it when people say
oh,
that they're a hairstylist. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have interaction with so many people and they're always talking to you while they're doing their hair.
how did I have business? She's like, I didn't even think of it. She was very okay. So you talk about the nervousness. She was like, I don't want to like feel like this burden. Like, I don't want to like push it on them. And I'm like, listen. And that's when I went back to if they're going to deal with you and they're going to talk to you, they're going to talk to you. And if they're not, they will tell you no. They will be like, hey, I don't want to hear it. I don't just stop, like whatever. And at that point, you can stop. But until they tell you no, don't stop because clearly they're going to they're wanting it just a little bit in the back of their mind. They're wanting you to continue to talk to them because if they didn't, they'd tell you to stop. And when she got that into her head and like changed her mindset about that, she just flourished.
I love that. It's amazing to me how many agents come into the business and don't realize who they can know in their own lives. I coach for workmen. Most of you guys know that. And when I tell people that their sphere of influence is roughly 200 to 300 people, they're shocked. And I said, who would you invite to your wedding and who would you invite to your funeral? That's your sphere of influence. And whether you realize it or not, it's more people than you know. So you
Hmm.
can start with there, everyone that you would think about. And when you come from another industry, such as being a hairstylist or a waitress or anything like that, where you have regulars, you have people that you're interacting with every day, they don't realize that sphere is quite a bit larger. I mean, how
Yes.
blessed to come from that industry and come in and be able to sit down and say, wow, I have this many interactions with people. And again, not coming from a sales, you're not supposed to sound salesy, guys. It's not,
Yeah.
you're supposed to come with value. And you are the professional in this, and you can offer them so much. So, Amanda, how often do you feel like you are in touch, in contact with the people who are in your sphere?
Oof. Sometimes daily.
That's
Um, gosh, I mean, let me just think. Today I've already talked to 2 people
that's amazing.
and it's 11:21 a.m. here. So, and it's not like it's like them reaching out or it's me like a birthday. That was good morning, happy birthday. Oh, thanks so much. Like you didn't post it on Facebook. Yeah, no, this is personal. So, at least twice today already. So I don't know how much the rest of the day is going to go, but got to stay positive and speak it. So,
So you've been in the business for 7 years. Tell me what
mhm.
this working this side of the business has done for you since you started until now. What does that look like with being focused on sphere in your community?
Well, when I first started, I didn't. So I was a part-time agent. I did not focus on real estate really. I was in the medical field, and that was my full-time job, and I was a part-time agent. Um, I don't recommend that because if you want real estate to be your full-time job, you can't have a plan B. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people say, oh, we have to have a plan B, but I don't because my plan B always messed up my plan A. And when I went full-time in 2021, um, that was the best decision of my life because I focused on building relationships. I think when I first started, I was part-time, so I was a transactional person. I was like, oh, I just want to get a transaction. And then my mindset flipped to I want to build relationships because this is going to be my career. So I want to be able to build the relationships. I want to serve people and I want to help them build generational worth. And I think when I started thinking like that, it just took off because then I just started to build that relationship. And I got a couple of people that the families that are my biggest supporters now. I started with them when I first started real estate and I started just building the relationships. And they were like, oh my gosh, like you'd go above and beyond. Like there's a quote in the Bible that says, when you go 1 mile, go two. And that is so true because when you are just transactional, you just do your job. And when you are a relationship builder, you do your job plus everybody else's job. And that's what I do. And a lot of people don't have that ability. But again, if you only have a plan A, you make it your time and you make it your responsibility to help others that way. And that's what I do.
I love that. So, how many did you sell the first year you came in full time versus now? Do you know the number?
So when I first came in, it was 10. Full
Okay.
time, it was 10. This year I am on track to close 25.
That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
incredible. And you're a
So
single agent.
single agent. I am, however, bringing my daughter on. She just passed her license last Tuesday, her exam, sorry, last Tuesday, and she'll be getting her license here within the next couple of weeks.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah. So,
incredible. Isn't that exciting?
yes, I'm so excited. So excited. So,
Terrific. Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to open it up a little bit to questions so that this can be a little bit more interactive. How many people here are currently working their sphere of influence at a high level? And by high level, I mean that you're closing more than 5 transactions a year from your sphere. Okay, nobody. Look, a man. Oh, Rob raised his hand. Thank you, Rob. Like, this was why this call was so important to me today. I'm so passionate about it. Rob, did you want to share something?
Um, well, I was just hopping on. I had some time. I wanted to listen. But
Awesome.
yeah, no, your sphere is probably your biggest advocates to getting business. So any little thing you could do to touch them. I mean, I think almost probably all of my business, I'd say 100% is sphere.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
I love that.
So, I mean, every once in a while you might get an open house one, but not really. It's pretty much all sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things to touch your sphere that are outside of the box is text videos. So, for example, you know, like you were mentioning, you made it very personal when you called them to wish them happy birthday. So, what we do is we spend some time on specific holidays. Say, for example, Christmas. We'll have a Christmas tree in the background. You got your iPhone set up on a tripod with a little clicker, and I'll
Okay.
probably shoot 200 personal videos in like 40 minutes, where it's just something really quick. It's like, hey, Amanda, it's Rob. I just wanted to wish you an amazing, Christmas. It's going to be extremely blessed. You and your family are so amazing. I love being a part of your family. I look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Love you guys. Bye. Boom. Like literally 5 seconds. And you do like 300 of those in a few minutes. And then you go to your iPhone or whatever phone you got, and you just play the first video and it says, hey, Amanda, forward, Amanda, erase, and then you just go through them all. And you'd be surprised the rate of return that you get back. We used to send Christmas cards and nobody would say anything from a Christmas card, but a Christmas video that's like 5 seconds long and you know them, you just say their name and tell them that you love them. You'd be surprised how much business you'll get from that.
Wow, that's a good idea. I'm going to implement that.
I know, I just
Thanks,
wrote it
Rob.
down.
Yeah.
That's such a great idea to show them your
Yes.
face and you don't have to drive around and do any of that. Thank you, Rob.
Mhm.
I
Yes,
did
thank you.
last year. I did it. My kids wanted to hop in the jacuzzi. It was Easter, mind you, and they're like, "Hey, we want to go in the jacuzzi." So I warmed it up, hopped them in there. They were in there 3 seconds, and so I'm like, I'm in the jacuzzi, going, "Man, what am I gonna do? I just got in. I just spent all this money heating it up. Let me send out some Easter text messages with a video, right?" And I mean, I just text everyone that came to my mind, and you'd be surprised. Your mind just starts rolling, and I got probably 2 listings from that, just sitting in the jacuzzi. Like, hey, by the way, my mom's, she's in the hospital. She's thinking about let's selling the property. And it's you'd be surprised. This personal text message not coming from your CRM like go a really long way.
I love that.
Wow,
And
thanks,
it
Rob.
didn't take you a ton of time, right? So I
Mm-mm.
think that's
No.
the other thing people think about is like, oh, this is going to be such a time investment. Look at and okay, I want to first say there are no referral fees when they come from
Right.
your sphere.
That's
Okay.
right.
So for everyone out there waiting for a referral to come to you or utilizing something like Zillow or Realtor.com or anything, any of the other ones out there that charge a big referral fee, I mean, the most investment that I would make is if I had a personal referral, is I would send a gift to whomever that was, right? But it's not like 35% of the sale. So I love that. And it did not take him so much time. And even Amanda, when you did your pop buys, what time commitment was that for you?
So it was about 6 hours.
Okay. But
There's quite a bit,
impactful.
and it was all over town. So
Yeah,
yeah.
but very impactful. You had two
Oh
people
yeah.
who actually asked for your help. So that's what anybody else that wants to talk a little bit about that. Michelle, I know that you're sick, but I know that you do quite a bit for your sphere. Are you able to come off of mute? And
I am. Sorry, I'm very stuffy and I have a really bad cold.
that's
Yeah, so for my sphere, I use a service called Client Giant, and it gifts them a really cool gift every quarter. It's not necessarily for Christmas. It's like a summer, a spring, a winter, and a fall gift. And I get a great feedback on those, and it costs me $99 a year per client. So husband and wife, $99 a year. Also, there's a lot of other things you can do in there. So when I do get a referral from a past client to a new client, I can go into that program and send them. There's lots of choices. Sorry, there's a plane going over me. I'm sitting in my hot tub trying to clear out my sinuses. Um, if they send me a referral, I'll call them and then I can gift them. So like there's a pizza package or there's a Amazon, whatever. So I utilize that program a lot. And then all the people that have a birthday, they get a birthday box the week before their birthday. And then the day of their birthday, Client Giant texts me about 6 in the morning to remind me that day is their actual day. So then I could copy and paste what Client Giant sends, which sometimes I do, but I always add a personal touch to it. And so they're always hearing from me on the day. And clients will be like, I look so forward to that box every year. Like that's sometimes the only gift I get. So it's very
Aw.
popular. And then I love the video idea. I've done that in the past, but I set up my sphere to get a message through my KV core. And it goes out randomly, whatever rotation they're on. But when it goes out, I get so many people responding. And it's very much like I just wanted to check in, what's going on, how's everything going? Very generic. And then when they get back to me, I just sit on the couch with my KV Core app and I respond personally. Oh, we did this, and oh, what do and I actually have conversations with them back and forth. So for me, it's helpful that it goes out and it forces me to do it. Because when they respond, I know I got to respond personally. I don't want them to think that 25 other people got that message that day. They don't know that. So, use the KV core and have it set up to send things out. But just make sure that you can respond and have that KV core app. Like I said, my husband will be watching a ball game. I'm on the couch with KV core app and I'm just responding to them.
I
And
love
then, a lot of I have clients I sold to 10, 11 years ago I just got a call from one of them. They're like, we're thinking of adding on. Can you recommend a contractor? Like these clients they never forget me because they're constantly being seen. They're constantly seeing either a small gift or a gesture or a text or whatever. And my business is definitely built around my sphere. And I started out, and my sphere didn't build by people I knew. I started out by doing open houses. I've been telling my team this. I didn't take a vacation for the first 5 years. I'm not recommending that,
I was
but
going to say, nope, that is not what we
I'm not
recommend.
recommending that. But I mean, like, maybe a weekend, but I didn't take like a long vacation. But I did 2 open houses on Saturday and 2 open houses on Sunday. Saturday and Sunday were my Monday, Tuesday. Like, and that's where my database started building, was through my open houses. That's how I built my clientele. Now, granted, are there sprinkled in a few people that I knew in there? Absolutely. But the bulk of my database were people I never knew. These were not people that I knew, through life. So it just takes time to build it, and it takes consistency, continually touching base with them. I've done the video message. People love that. They will definitely respond. Also, a video message on their birthday is a great way too, because they get to see your face and you can, wish them that happy birthday.
Thank you, Michelle, for sharing that. I knew that was
Yes.
going to be impactful because I knew what you did with your business. Amanda, Debbie has a question. What do you recommend if you're new to an area, so your sphere is mostly people already in the industry locally? What would you recommend?
So your sphere is, you're saying that like other realtors?
Yep, Debbie's saying yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was on a call with Leo Robles, and so there was, I believe it was someone that was on there. They were very suggestive of on your social media to, and it doesn't have to be in a, oh, I don't want to work with you way, non-collaboration way. That's not what I'm saying, but to take those industry peers off of your social media, at least the one where you have the most followers. Because when you're posting your social media, you're trying to gain clients, right? You're not trying to get the attention of your peers. You want new clients. So you're trying to bring in clients. So the best way to do that is to remove or at least hide the industry peers, because you're not going to get business from them. You could get a referral, but you're trying to reach your sphere. You're not trying to reach other people in your industry. So that's number one. Highly recommend doing that. When you're posting, make sure you either delete them off your social or hide them so where they don't see your posts. So that way you're reaching your sphere, because there's an algorithm, right? You want to reach your sphere. Go network. What lenders do you have in your area that you can network with? Networking is huge. If you can't build a sphere off of networking, then maybe I don't know, put yourself out there. It's really, really easy to just go and be yourself again, be authentic anywhere you can. Anywhere I'm at, I leave a business card. I have paper business cards because when I'm eating, I leave a business card. Thank you. I leave a tip. Here's my business card. Everywhere I go, I make sure that my presence is known as what I do. If you're a secret agent, you're never going to be able to bring business anywhere. So don't be
I
a
love
secret
that.
agent.
I love that. It's very, oh, go ahead, Debbie. You look like you had something you wanted to say.
Oh, I'm just saying thank you.
Yeah.
Of course, you're welcome.
I think, I just moved recently and I'm like, oh, I haven't met very many people here. And for those of you that don't know, on the DISC assessment, I have like a -12 eye. So like I don't people well. You know, but I do actually try to mention that, and people will ask, where you go, especially if you've moved recently, usually they'll say, oh, what do you do? Right? What do you do? And that is a good way to do it. I'm at the bus stop every morning with other parents. That's another opportunity. Like you have to just kind of decide where you are, and then also get involved with something that you already love. If it's, like you said, if it's a networking group or if it's a book club or if it's your community, and start like putting yourself out there. But I love what Amanda said, because she's carrying her business cards around everywhere. And this is what I've told a coaching client in the past. And he didn't realize how big his sphere was. And I love to tell this story because he absolutely was adamant that he didn't know that 250 people. And I knew what a high I he was, how outgoing he was. And I said, for 2 weeks, I want you to open your phone, and in the notes app, I want you to write down every single person you had any contact with for 2 straight weeks in a face-to-face conversation. And he came back and it was over 300. And I said, now, how many of those people know that you do real estate? And he said, oh, I don't really know. And I said, what are you doing to let them know that you do? And that if they had a question or that you're opening yourself up to a conversation about it. And so I said he was being a secret agent. And I said, what can you do? What could you wear? What could you advertise and what you're doing? Now, he took it a little bit further. I was like, get a cap or a shirt, but he was with Remax. And at the time, he got a hoodie, a cap, pants that said Remax. And who knew that Remax made sneakers, but they do. And so he was a walking billboard. And he said it was almost impossible for someone not to ask him about real estate. Now, what does that mean, guys? When someone asks you, how's the market? Anybody?
It's outstanding. It's
you,
great.
you say it's outstanding.
It's always a great time to like,
Always.
you always add value, right? Here for that, like when people are like, oh my gosh, interest rate. And I'm like, wait a minute. Interest rates are very important. And I did a video about this. However, what can you afford monthly? Because that payment ultimately is what you're going to need to worry about. So yes, absolutely. Sorry to interrupt you, Selena.
No, I love it because that's absolutely true. You should always say it's outstanding. You should always say it's a great time to buy or sell or invest. But when someone asks you, how's the market? That is their way of letting you know that there is something happening in their life that's making them think about real estate. It is an invitation to extend the conversation because they're only going to ask because they're curious. They've thought about it. They've thought about selling. They wonder how much equity they have. They wonder if they can purchase. They're thinking about buying an investment property. Something has tickled their mind that when they saw you advertising that that's what you do, that they felt like the the braveness to come up and ask the question. So if you are not wearing something, doing something, or advertising in some way that this is what you do for a business, especially in a new area, I really encourage you to think about it because you can continue to grow your community as a result of that. People, like if you go into a coffee shop all the time, get the skin on the back of your laptop that says, ask me about real estate. If you walk your dog every day, get them a shirt that says, ask my mom about real estate. Like people love that stuff. And what you've done is given them permission. You've given them permission to ask you. And then that's a great opportunity for you to give them your card and say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad we met today. Here's my card. Call me and let's talk some more about what might work best for you. But that's how you can build and build and build. Most of us go out and we're running from one thing to the next, and we're not really realizing how many interactions we have in a day with people. And if we're not advertising that we could help them in this, that this is our profession, then we're not.
Someone else will.
Yep, someone else will.
Yep.
Someone else will. So Debbie, that was a great question. It was a really great question because a lot of people do move, things can shift and change, and you want to make sure that you are putting yourself out there in some way that people say, I've gone to a paint store with my hat on and someone will say, oh my gosh, my daughter works there. Oh, do you do real estate? She just got started. What can you tell her to, get better about what she's doing? And while that's not a sale, it could be a referral, right? She's new, she maybe doesn't know what she's doing. So you have to realize that walking around without doing that, like let's think about every other profession that does, guys. Painters are always wearing something that says who they work with, contractors, window people, like and we walk around wearing a business suit.
Yep.
We could be anything. We could be anything. Nobody would even know. So I love that. Amanda, go ahead. Rob?
Selena, if you don't mind me hopping in here real quick. So for the introverts on the call, you need to find some core advocates that are extroverts. So if you're new to an area and you're taking your kids to school and you notice that there's one mom there that's extremely popular, like positive popular, not the negative popular, right? So you make friends with, I belong to the school district too. So you find you find the people in your world that are extroverts or that know a lot of people, and you don't need to friend everybody, but you need to friend them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would take them out for coffee, or I'd take them out to lunch and hang out with them and get them to be an advocate for me. So since it's like, oh my gosh, I know everybody loves you. That's why we're having lunch today, because you're so awesome. Like, we're good friends, and I'm looking to build my business, and I knew the best person I could think of. The only one I could think of that could actually help me get to me where I want to go is like someone amazing like yourself. You seem to know what's going on with everybody's lives, and I wish I could be as extrovert like you and get out there. It's just, I'm just like a quiet little mouse, right? That's totally fine. but you could probably pair me up with people and I could actually do what I do best, which is service families on helping them get there. It's like, would you support me in this? And they usually say yes. They're not going to say no. Right. So if you're an introvert, find extroverts to be friends with, and they will go out there and be your cheerleaders and get you the business that you're looking for. So it's super fun. Leverage them.
I love that. I do.
Yes.
Something that you said just made me think of something, and I'm like, oh gosh, I just lost it for a second. Oh my goodness. Anybody else have a question while I get back to what I was just thinking that Rob said? Nobody else? Oh, Iris, go ahead.
I was just going to add and say that that's so true. And I found that to be such great value in like the older communities when I was door knocking. Before I was finished with my route for that time, I already had 2 people call me and they're like, hey, Barbara from, down the road. And, she told me, they just they don't have anything else to do. And like, for someone to come to their door and they know all of these people that are wanting to move, or that, they're just in the know, right? Like they're just chatty catties, and they just they're like, yeah. One lady was like, my daughter's a realtor, and I wish she did these pop buys, and this is such a great idea. Like I'd talk to everybody, like I will talk to anyone. And I'm like, I need to get you on my team. Like, don't tell your daughter, but I need to get you on my team. You can talk to everyone for me. I'll give you, so that's what I found value is, the older people, they're just always willing to talk to everyone.
I love that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Iris, for joining us. That's awesome that you're here. So everybody, Iris took a CMA and she beat out another agent because she actually did her work and priced the people's homes correctly. And this other agent was very high priced. So she went in, we did her CMA, and she got the listing. So congratulations, Iris.
Yay! Congrats, Iris.
Thank you. Thank you. It just went live yesterday and we already have people wanting to see it. So
Amazing.
So proud of you.
Amazing. I remembered what I wanted to say based on what Rob said. So the other thing I would encourage you to do with your sphere, guys, is because reciprocity is really important. So if they're all of your sphere, you should know what they do for a living as well. Okay, so when you are able to give them referrals and what they do, they're automatically going to think about you when they have a referral. So don't forget to keep track of that. If you've got your list of who's in your top 50, who's in your sphere of influence, reciprocity is it's just a very big tool because you're thinking of them, they're thinking of you. And how great if someone called you and said, oh, I wish I knew an attorney, or I wish I knew a painter, or I wish I knew a plumber. And now you have this amazing list of people you already know, right? Because you've gotten to know them so well because they're now your sphere of influence and you're able to refer them business. The moment that someone mentions real estate to them, they're going to think of you as a result of that. So don't discount really getting to know your community and your sphere of influence so that you have that list going so that if someone says, oh, I really wish I knew somebody who was doing this thing, you could say, oh, great, let me just send you over somebody right now. And a lot of people forget that step. They forget that step because, of course, you know and trust them. You want to refer them business as well. And that's a way for you to just kind of keep that relationship going in that way. We always want to find people like that. Ooh,
I do have a list of trusted vendors that I hand out to my sphere. So if they need anything, this is what I send them. So it has flooring, HVAC, roofing, painting, insurance contractors, cleaning, attorney, home inspectors, so and so. So it's very important to have that list available. And you can just be like, yep, here you go. I know this person, I know that person. They're like, Amanda's the go-to. Amanda's the guy that knows the guy. So yeah.
We all know a
Value.
guy, right?
That's right. Value. You got to add that value.
I
did meet with someone. She actually sought me out. She was moving to my area from Las Vegas and she's a home organizer. And I thought, oh my gosh, I need someone like that because my niche is the 55 plus community, which I will be a member of in 10 months. So she could totally help with that purging of all the items and cleaning and pack. She even does light packing and assistant kind of stuff for like helping people pack up their home if they're downsizing, moving into a facility or whatever. So her and I met for coffee, and I just kind of fell in love with her. I mean, she's super sweet and like totally a good fit, like personality wise with me. Like I liked her work ethic. I liked the way she spoke. She was very kind and compassionate. And so I sent out an email blast to my whole seller database. It was like over 600 people, I think. And I got a few responses like, oh, thank you so much. Or, now's, I'm not in need of this service right now, but I appreciate you thinking of that or whatever. And even if it was just to get her business for, organizing somebody's, primary room closet or pantry or whatever. And then I included her on the email blast so she could see what actually went out. And she was blown away at what I sent. And so building that relationship with the vendor or contractor as well, I think helps too, because there's other agents that have used her and posted her on social media, because I did do a post about her on social media too. But are they willing to reach out to their whole database to advertise her services? Are they willing to do some of the things that I was thinking of doing for like a marketing campaign with her? So that was one of the things that I tried to do outside of realtors, lenders, title, and escrow, is vendors that I can refer people to and getting to know them and their work ethic and all of that. So building rapport with them, I think, is equally as important.
Amen.
Love
I
that.
agree.
Love that. All right. Go ahead, Colleen.
I have to leave because I have 2 showings back to back. So I will
Get an
talk to you
offer.
guys later. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Okay, bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. So Amanda, if you were to, hang on, we've got somebody new coming in. But if you wanted to wrap this up with like giving people the best possible advice for what to do with their sphere, with their community, what would you tell us?
Be yourself. Reach out as much as possible. Like I said, they're gonna tell you no. They will. So just keep going, keep pushing forward. Add value when you reach out to them. Don't just reach out, hey, do you want to buy a house? That's salesy. Don't do that. Add value. If there's new programs coming available, if there's a new park opening, whatever the case may be in your situation, just add value to people. And if you guys want a little script that I had my mentee send out to her sphere, kind of get her going, I can also send that to you. Because it's very impactful, but it's also like not salesy. So it's like, oh hey, like just wanted to let you know that the lender I'm working with currently, or enter whatever cool thing that's going on in your world. Let me know if you want any information on this program for first time home buyers, blah 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 blah. So anything that you want to insert, do it and see where it gets you. Just spend an hour, just in 1 hour. That's what Leo does on a call once in a while. Just spend an hour sending out this script or this text, and don't respond until after that hour is up, and see what happens.
Love that. It doesn't take a massive commitment with people who know and trust you already, guys. That's the key. You're going to spend a lot less time in lead generation with people who already know and trust you, trying to convince them because they've already had an experience of you, right? They've already had an experience of you. Amanda, thank you so much for today. I so appreciate you taking the time to spend with everybody and let them know about how this has built your business. Guys, just if you didn't know, Sphere of Influence in Top 50 is the top lead source in the country. It's the biggest return on investment that you can possibly do. The biggest, more than open houses, more than Zillow, more than realtor.com. It is the biggest return on your investment that you can do. And sadly, it's the one that most agents don't do.
Amen. Thank you so much for having me. I also just saw Lilia hopped on. Hi, Lilia. So Lilia has also
pumpkin.
yes, she has also implemented some of my things with like the CMA and going and handing out just being value. So I'm so grateful for everybody to allow me to speak today. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you put it into implementation and just go kill it. So
thank you so much, Amanda. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Appreciate everybody who showed up today.
Yes,
Thanks
thank you
again.
so much.
Bye.
Bye, guys.